The Barrett farm used to be a chicken farm, and they have 4 chicken sheds in Wickes, Arkansas. They processed 100,000 chickens every 52 days. And now we are converting their farm to a mushroom farm. This is a transitional evolutionary process. And the Barretts are a prime example of your traditional everyday farmers. They have been in farming for generations. They're the type of people that are considered salt of the earth. They love the farm. They love the land.
First of all, we've been here for 18 years in animal agriculture, and we love animals. That's why we take care of them, and that's why we do what we do, is because we love what we do.
When we moved here, I was in high school. We moved here in '87 with my family, and I learned about the chicken operation. It was a whole new venture for our family. We never, my dad worked in the oil field, so we lived in suburbia. So farming was a whole new thing. And I'd grown up loving animals my whole life. And when we decided to take on the farming operation, we started to learn, how it works. And, just from what I knew, I thought we ate chicken. And so it was like, oh, this is how they're raised. This is how it's done.
But they woke up. They awakened to what they were doing. They awakened to the cruelty, but first they awakened to the fact that their health was suffering tremendously as a result of eating the very animals that they were farming and sending off to slaughter for you to eat.
Rodney and I started on our journey to get healthier because of his very scary diagnosis. And I was suffering from depression, obesity, high blood pressure, and just researching, trying to find the best. We started eliminating processed foods, started feeling better. I started working out. Rodney's ulcerative colitis stayed in remission most of the time. And until 2016, in May, we did a 3-week program where we went vegan. And it was just this kind of fun thing to do. Let's challenge ourselves and see if we can do it. And by the end of the 3 weeks, even after the first week, after we detoxed a little bit, it was insane how amazing we felt. And when we got to the end of that 21 days, it was just so stunning to me to see how it felt to live in a body that was fueled that way. That it was that simple, and that I had been that close to it my whole life. That I had been 3 weeks away from feeling that good my whole life. So then that raised a million questions about why we were farming the way that we were. I remember after we had gone through that 3-week program, I was standing in the chicken house. It was the day before they were going to sell. They were going to slaughter. And I remember just standing there and weeping, knowing that they were all going to die, and for what? That it was so unnecessary. I thought that my job was this great American dirty job. It was good, honorable work. And then to realize that, what I'm doing is it's hurting me, it's hurting my family, it's hurting you guys that I was selling it to. And then we started watching documentaries and finding out what it was doing to the earth. And then when I started finding out, started watching slaughterhouse footage and things like that, and I could associate their individuality. I let my sentimentality about animals start to unfurl. Yes. Which was very, very difficult. It was very, very hard. But I just came to that realization that they are individuals. They have the right to live. They feel pain. They suffer. So having that knowledge and then going to work and sending cows to slaughter and sending chickens to slaughter and being in the chicken facilities and seeing this daily suffering and what they were, when you think about it, when you think about how a chicken is raised, in their own feces, breathing feces, it's a terrible existence. And so unnecessary. So it was just very difficult to kind of come to grips with that. And I thought for a while, I could just be the hypocrite. I'll be a vegan who raises chickens.
I love that. When I read that, I was like, wow, I remember feeling just like that.
Yes. And, that it was just this weird paradoxical thing. And, but it turns out I couldn't live with it.
Somehow I got this letter. Let me just put it this way. I still don't know for sure where this mysterious letter came from. I just know that one evening I was in a hotel room and I was reading a letter that I knew straight up that I had to stop everything I was doing and drive to Wickes, Arkansas. This letter, I was sitting on the edge of the bed and I was in tears. I mean, literally every word had me on the edge of my seat. And when I was reading it, I was able to see this woman at the end of her rope. They had just, sent their last batch of chickens off to be slaughtered. They agreed they weren't going to do that ever again. They just basically jumped off a cliff and said, we're done. They had no money to pay, loans that were coming due. They had no money to pay for the hay that the cows needed. They had no money to pay for the fencing they needed. They had no money to do what they needed to do to function. They were getting ready to lose the frickin' farm. And in the midst of the tone of all this anxiety, it was this unbelievable faith and hope. Jennifer was able to tell this story in this letter in such a way where I was really getting the fact that they were losing their freaking ass, and at the same time also I felt this incredible newborn. It was as if she was newly born, and she was, because she was now vegan. And she was feeling everything on the outside of her skin. It was as if she just couldn't take it anymore. But she didn't know what she was going to do. So she just jumped off the cliff. And she fell into the laps of the Rancher Advocacy Program. And we're so grateful that we were there when she called for help and jumped and landed.
It's brought us to this point with the Rowdy Girl Sanctuary, trying to get some help to feed some cows, to take care of our land and change our farm to growing plant-based in the vegan industry, where we know that everything is going to be completely and totally organic and healthy to the point of no animal inputs. And we can be part of the solution.
Yes.
And a role model, a pilot program to show everybody that things can be done. They can still be farmers. They can still take care of animals that need to be taken care of, but do it in a more compassionate way where they're not going to slaughter because it's not necessary.
I got to know Jennifer. We became like sisters. We cried together, laughed together. We felt each other's heart. We knew that we were going to work together. The RAP Coalition, the RAP advisors, all the RAP committees have all come together to support the evolution of what was once a chicken farmer and cattle rancher. They are now on the road to becoming a mushroom farm. We are creating a business model so that they will have every chance in the world of succeeding. It's a process. It's a real arduous process that our team is all engaged in so that they will be successful.
And one day, whenever we get this thing started, one day I'm going to be able to help another farm somewhere close by to be able to do the same thing that I'm doing. And then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And hopefully these farms that we put online can do the same thing to their friends and their farmers. This thing is going to be global. It's going to go global.